keep it. A one-handed man with no family needs all the help he can get.
That's the last thing Tywin Lannister ever says to his son before walking away forever. In our previous video, we broke down how Tywin tried to mold Jaime into a lord in Season 1. In this video, we're going to show you the exact moment Jaime refused and how one word shattered a dynasty. Let's get into it. Quick recap of our previous video. In Season 1, Tywin Lannister tried to teach his son Jaime a lesson about legacy over personal glory. He told him,
"A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep."
but we also learned that Tywin is a hypocrite. He cares deeply about what people think. He just calls it building a dynasty. Now it's Season 4, 3 years later. Tywin has won. The Starks are dead. The Lannisters control the throne. But Jaime has changed. He's been captured, tortured. He's lost his sword hand, the source of his entire identity. And he's met someone who taught him what real honor looks like. So when Tywin tries the same speech again, leave the Kingsguard, go be Lord of Casterly Rock, Jaime's response is different. He says no. And that no changes everything. Now it's Season 4, Episode 1. Tywin has won. He destroyed the Starks and controls the throne. But his victory is hollow. His grandson is a psychopath. Cersei is spiraling. And Jaime has returned as a cripple. The scene takes place in a room where Tywin has melted down ice, Ned Stark's ancestral sword, and reforged it into 2 Lannister weapons. He's literally trying to erase the North and reshape it into the Lannister image. And now, he's going to try to do the same thing with his son. But Jaime isn't Valyrian steel. He's a man, and he's about to prove it.
Magnificent.
Jaime is genuinely amazed. He's a swordsman at heart, and this is one of the most beautiful weapons he's ever seen. Tywin barely acknowledges the compliment. He's waiting. This conversation has a script, and Tywin has already written it.
Looks fresh forged.
It is.
No one's made a Valyrian steel sword since the Doom of Valyria.
Jaime is emphasizing the rarity. Valyrian steel is the most valuable material in the known world. These swords are priceless.
There are 3 living smiths who know how to rework Valyrian steel. The finest of them was in Volantis. He came here to King's Landing at my invitation.
Tywin wants Jaime to understand the expense and effort involved. He brought a master smith from across the world. He spared no cost. This isn't just a gift, it's an investment.
Where did you get this much Valyrian steel?
From someone who no longer had need of it.
This line is brutal in its casualness. Someone who no longer needed it. He's talking about Ned Stark, the honorable Ned Stark, whom Joffrey had executed, whose sword Tywin stole and melted down like scrap metal. Tywin is literally wearing the corpse of House Stark as a trophy, and he's doing it in front of Jaime, who, if you remember from Part 1, actually respected Ned Stark. Jaime called him brave. This is Tywin showing Jaime what happens to brave men who don't play the game properly. They die, and their legacy gets erased.
We've wanted one of these in the family for a long time.
In the books, we learn that Tywin spent decades trying to acquire a Valyrian steel sword. He tried to buy them from lesser houses, poor houses that had ancient swords but no money. But even the poorest families wouldn't sell. Because these swords aren't just weapons. Their heritage. They represent centuries of family history, and it drove Tywin insane that the Lannisters, the richest, most powerful family, didn't have one. His father, Tydos, never got one, and Tywin refused to die without fixing that.
Now we have 2.
Not just 1, 2. This is classic Tywin. Excess as dominance. Why have 1 when you can have 2? Why be equal when you can be superior?
2. The original weapon was absurdly large. Plenty of steel for 2 swords.
Absurdly large. Even in describing Ned's sword, Tywin insults the North. He views their traditions as crude and inefficient. Why have 1 massive greatsword when you could have 2 elegant blades? It's the Lannister way. Efficiency. Optimization. Control.
Well, thank you. It's glorious.
Jaime is genuinely moved. He thinks his father is giving him a gift to help him recover from his trauma, to help him rebuild his identity as a warrior. He doesn't realize yet that this is a transaction.
You'll have to train your left hand.
The critique begins immediately. Tywin can't just give a gift. He has to assess. He has to point out the deficiency.
And a decent swordsman knows how to use both hands.
Jaime tries to deflect with confidence. He's trying to convince himself as much as he's trying to convince his father. I'll be fine. I'll adapt. I'm still Jaime Lannister.
You'll never be as good.
Brutal. Tywin doesn't soften it. He doesn't say, it'll be difficult, but you'll manage. He states a fact. You'll never be as good. He's looking at his son, his golden, perfect son, and all he sees is a broken asset, reduced value, damaged goods.
No, but as long as I'm better than everyone else, I suppose it doesn't matter.
Jaime clings to his arrogance. It's all he has left. Even with one hand, I'm still better than most people with two. But you can hear the doubt creeping in.
You can't serve in the King's Guard with one hand.
And here it is, the pivot. The sword wasn't a gift. It was a bribe. Tywin is saying, you're useless as a knight now. Your career is over. So you need to become a lord instead.
Where's that written? I can and I will. The King's Guard oath is for life.
Jaime refuses to accept it. He clings to the Kingsguard because it's the only identity he has left. Without the Kingsguard, who is he? A crippled ex-knight? A failed son? A man with no purpose? And let's be honest, the Kingsguard also keeps him in King's Landing, close to Cersei.
The war is over. The king is safe.
The king is never safe. How many people in this city alone would love to see his head on a pike?
Jaime makes a practical argument. Joffrey has more enemies than friends. Someone needs to protect him. But Tywin doesn't care about practicality here. He cares about control.
Other knights protected the king while you were a prisoner. They will continue to do so when you go home.
Go home. Tywin speaks as if Jaime were a visitor in King's Landing, as if his real home, his only home, is Casterly Rock. But Jaime hasn't been to Casterly Rock in years. King's Landing is his home now.
Home.
You'll return to Casterly Rock and rule in my stead.
The command. Not a request, not a suggestion, a command. Tywin needs this. Tyrion is currently the legal heir, and Tywin would rather die than let Tyrion have Casterly Rock. He needs Jaime to take the rock to secure the legacy.
You are the Lord of Casterly Rock.
I am the king's hand. My place is here. I don't expect to see the rock again before I die.
Tywin admits he's never going back. He's ascended beyond the Westerlands. He's playing the great game in King's Landing now. He needs a viceroy, someone to hold Casterly Rock in his name. And that someone has to be Jaime.
You know what they call me? Kingslayer, Oathbreaker, man without honor. Now you want me to break another sacred vow.
This is the new Jaime. In Season 1, he mocked honor. He made jokes about killing kings. He pretended not to care about his reputation. Now, he's fighting for it. He's broken so many oaths, pushed Bran out a window, killed his king, attacked Ned Stark in the street. He wants to keep this oath. He wants to prove to Brienne, to himself, to the world, that he's capable of honor.
You won't be breaking anything. There is a precedent to relieve a king's guard of his duties. The king will exercise that prerogative.
Tywin treats the sacred vow as a bureaucratic hurdle. He thinks he can legislate Jaime's conscience away. We'll just have the king release you from your oath. Problem solved. But Jaime knows it doesn't work that way. If Tywin forces him to leave, everyone will know it wasn't Jaime's choice. They'll know Tywin made him quit. It'll look like weakness, and Jaime is so tired of looking weak.
No.
Let's stop here. Let's break this down frame by frame, because this single word, no, is the climax of the entire Tywin-Jaime relationship. This is the moment a dynasty begins to die. Tywin has just laid out his entire plan. He's offering Jaime everything: Casterly Rock, legitimacy, power, a clean break from the Kingslayer name, a wife, children, a future. In Tywin's mind, this is a done deal. He's not negotiating. He's not asking. He's informing Jaime of the decision that's already been made. He's certain, because in Tywin's experience, everyone wants power. Everyone wants wealth. Everyone wants their father's approval. So why would Jaime refuse? This is the first time in the entire series that we see Tywin Lannister truly surprised. He has commanded armies. He has destroyed rebellions. He has orchestrated the Red Wedding, the most brutal political move in Westerosi history. He has controlled everything and everyone around him for decades, and his son just told him no.
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 Tywin repeats the word as if he didn't hear it correctly, like it's impossible. Jaime says it again, firmer, no hesitation, no doubt. This is Jaime choosing himself for the first time in his life.
I don't believe I asked you a question.
That's my answer.
Tywin tries to reassert dominance. He's framing it as an order, not a request. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm telling you what you're going to do. Jaime stands his ground. He's not backing down. He's not apologizing. He's not explaining. He's just done.
You think your bloody honor comes before
My
your
bloody
family?
honor is beyond repair, but my answer is still no.
Jaime admits it. His honor is destroyed. His reputation is ruined. The world will always see him as the Kingslayer. But he's keeping this one oath anyway. Not because it'll fix his reputation. Because it's the right thing to do. Because Brienne taught him that honor isn't about what people think of you. It's about who you are when no one's watching.
I don't want Casterly Rock. I don't want a wife. I don't want children.
Jaime rejects the trinity of Tywin. Land, marriage, children. These are the three pillars of Tywin's worldview. The three things that make life meaningful in his eyes. And Jaime is saying, I don't want any of it. He's not just refusing an order. He's rejecting Tywin's entire philosophy. He's saying, everything you built your life around, everything you killed for, everything you value, I don't want it. This breaks Tywin's brain. Because Tywin cannot comprehend a person who doesn't want power.
What do you want?
This is the most vulnerable Tywin Lannister has ever been. He's genuinely asking. For 40 years, he's tried to mold Jaime. He's given him orders, lectures, and opportunities. And he realizes in this moment, he doesn't know his own son at all. He never asked Jaime what he actually wanted. He just assumed Jaime wanted what he wanted.
Supper would be nice.
This line is devastating on multiple levels. Let's break it down. Level 1, the deflection. On the surface, it's a joke. Dark comedy. Tywin offers a kingdom. Jaime asks for a meal. It's the ultimate dismissal of Tywin's grand plans. Are you offering me Casterly Rock? Great. I'm hungry. Let's eat. Level 2, the philosophy. But it's so much deeper than that. Supper represents present tense existence. Tywin lives in the future. Everything he does is for what comes after. After he's dead. After his children are dead. After his grandchildren are dead. The dynasty, the name, the legacy that lasts 1,000 years. Jaime is saying, I want to live in the now. Supper is immediate. It's human. It's mortal. It's about satisfying a basic need today, not securing power for some distant generation. Level 3, the rejection of immortality. Tywin wants to be immortal through legacy. He knows his body will die, but he believes his name will echo for centuries. That's his answer to mortality. Build something so big that you never truly die. Jaime is saying, I'd rather eat a meal and enjoy being alive than inherit a castle and spend my life worrying about what happens after I'm dead. This is a complete philosophical rejection of everything Tywin believes. Level 4, the accidental insult. But here's the most brilliant part. Jaime isn't trying to be philosophical. He's not making a grand statement about the meaning of life. He's genuinely just tired and hungry. He's been through hell, captured, tortured, lost his hand, traveled across a war zone, starved, humiliated. And now his father is standing there offering him responsibilities and obligations and a legacy. And all Jaime can think is, I just want to eat something and go to bed. The fact that this accidentally becomes a devastating philosophical rejection of Tywin's life's work makes it even more brutal. Jaime isn't even trying to hurt his father. He's just being honest. And that honesty, that simple, human honesty, destroys Tywin more than any insult ever could.
For 40 years I've tried to teach you. If you haven't learned by now, you never will.
Tywin gives up. 40 years, 4 decades of trying to shape his son into the heir he needs. And it didn't work. This is Tywin admitting defeat. He realizes Jaime is never going to become what he wants him to be. The experiment failed.
Go. If serving as a glorified bodyguard is the sum of your ambition, go serve.
Glorified bodyguard. He uses the same insult from Season 1. But notice the difference in delivery. In Season 1, he said it with contempt, but also with hope. He believed Jaime could still change. In Season 4, he says it with resignation. He knows Jaime won't change. This is who he is. Tywin is giving up on his golden son.
I suppose you want the sword back.
Jaime knows the sword was a bribe, and since he's refusing the deal, he assumes his father wants it back. There's even a hint of sadness in this line. I wish I could be what you want, but I can't.
Keep it. A one-handed man with no family needs all the help he can get.
This is the most brutal line Tywin Lannister ever speaks. Let's break it down. A one-handed man. He reduces Jaime to his disability. Not my son, not Sir Jaime. Just a one-handed man. With no family, he disowns him. Right here, right now. If you're not my heir, you're not my family. Needs all the help he can get. The sword isn't a gift anymore. It's a pity. It's charity for a broken stranger. Tywin lets Jaime keep the Valyrian steel sword, one of the most valuable objects in the world, because to Tywin, it's now worthless. It's in the hands of someone who doesn't matter. This is the last meaningful conversation they ever have. A few episodes later, Tyrion kills Tywin. And Jaime doesn't even seem that broken up about it. This is where House Lannister begins to die. Not at the Red Wedding. Not when Cersei burns the sept. Here, when a father saw failure and a son saw a tyrant. Within 4 years of this conversation, the Lannister dynasty collapses completely. Tyrion kills Tywin. Cersei loses everything and dies in the rubble. Jaime dies in her arms. The name goes extinct. The dynasty that was supposed to last 1,000 years lasted less than a decade. Why? Because Tywin never understood. You can't force people to carry your legacy. Ned Stark lost the game and died. But his children carried his values across the world. Tywin built through control. Ned built through love. And in the end, the North remembers means more than all of Tywin's gold. This scene is about one word. No. One word that destroyed a dynasty. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is refuse to be what someone else wants, even if that someone is your father. Jaime chose himself. He chose life over immortality. He chose honor over power. And maybe that's what finally made him worthy. Because honor isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing right, even when it costs you everything. So here's my question. Was Jaime right? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.